And also they are advocating for privacy protection and government data collection, ensuring that localities can meet the intent of Government Data Collection and Dissemination Practices Act by protecting of personal information acquired through the provision of services to local government clients. And the only other thing I have is I got a report from the Fredericksburg Area Association of Realtors, and things are continuing to grow here in Colonial Beach. The average sold price in July of 23 was $314,000 versus $313,000 a year ago. So not much of a change. The housing is holding its value. There are currently 61 active listings on the market. There were only 48 a year ago. So the market time is taking a little bit longer. Thank you.
Again. Okay, first of all, a shout out to the fire department, which will be the recipient of a grant from the Virginia Department of Fire Programs, approximately $15,000 what struck me as a remarkably bureaucratic exercise, which also involved town staff to a large extent. $15,000 is probably 1/20th of what it costs to actually buy a piece of equipment. But every little bit helps. Also, we have a large distribution of an email from a Caleb Marandino, and I will reference the rescue squad. And I'm going to trespass on your time to read this. And it's regarding Chief Holden Olaf and Medic President Donna Shalar. A few weeks ago, I had the opportunity to witness firsthand the remarkable patient care demonstrated by these two individuals. Their professionalism, knowledge, and promptness in responding to the call were truly commendable. Moreover, their kindness and compassion towards the patient were evident through the entire process. Having previously served as an EMS rescue crew member myself, I can confidently say that the Colonial Beach Rescue Squad is among the most caring and dedicated agencies I have encountered. The commitment shown by Chief Holden Olaf and Medic President Donna Shalar is a shining example of the high standards set by your organization. I wanted to take a moment to recognize their outstanding efforts and to express my gratitude for having such capable and empathetic individuals serving our community. Their actions make a significant difference in the lives of those they assist, and I believe it is important to acknowledge their contributions.
Good evening, everybody. We'll start with the Parks and Rec. I just want to let everybody know that we do have openings on Parks and Rec. You can go on our website and put in the information to be an applicant for that. Those meetings are held on the first Tuesday of each month. A couple events that we have coming up, the World Photography Day, which will be August 19th, this Saturday from sunrise to sunset. That is an opportunity for anyone that is interested in photography. There'll be some professional and amateurs alike that will assist in those photography efforts. We also have the Rod Run to the Beach, which will be Saturday and Sunday. Saturday will be 7 a.m. to 10 p.m. and then 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. And those that don't know, Tyler Nichols will be performing. So please attend that. It's a very, very good event. Also, we have the 8th annual Water Fest, which will be Saturday and Sunday as well. The location that'll be on the boardwalk. And then Saturday to be 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. and on Sunday, 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. Thank you.
All right, we'll pass it down to the other side.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. Can you hear me? Is that better? Okay, so a couple of things. First of all, we want to thank Jeff McCauley for coming and helping us with our microphone situation. So we should be little more audible this time around. Our town manager is going to be giving us an update on the toters. The CDA is ahead of schedule, so that's good news, taking advantage of good weather while we have it. Our good friend Bill Taylor is up and about again, places to go and people to annoy, huh, Bill? I'm glad to hear you're feeling better. Now we have both. We've got some bad news. We lost a fellow Colonial Beacher, Mike Mothershead. He lost his life in the fire. There's a GoFundMe page. I have it on my social media. They have it as well, and I'll make sure I repost that. And also, I wanted to let you know locally that our Moose Lodge has dedicated to offering some funds to help relieve the suffering. Thank you.
Good evening, everybody. Just a few updates from the economic development side of the house. I already gave an update last week. At the meeting for the Economic Development Committee was last Tuesday. Kelly Edco gave an update, and I pretty much summed that up last week, but I'll give you a little bit of update of what was discussed at the Economic Development Committee meeting. They discussed workforce housing. They're going to be doing a survey. They've talked about that a few times, and so hopefully that'll be coming soon. I think the focus was businesses, but also the schools, and I think it was another group. They talked about the FAR, the floor area ratio. That's something that's being addressed by the Planning Commission now. And then some of the concerns they had about the size of the houses that could be built now. With the way that we're enforcing the zoning lots, I believe I've mentioned that before. There's about 500 lots in town that I believe are about half the size of a normal 1,000 square foot lot, and people are interested in building on those. So hopefully that will be addressed as well. Obviously, a normal size house can't fit on those, so it's going to have to take some considerations how to be addressed. The water, sewer, tap fees. I mentioned to them that I may be trying to get those discussion on this agenda, but we're going to actually have that on the next work session agenda. So if there's any builders out there or people that are interested in how the town implementing the new tap fees and the availability fees, please come to the next meeting. Let's see. They're working with the schools. They have 16 career clusters. They're trying to help foster career development for our young folks in our schools. So it's a positive thing that they're doing. Let's see. They're talking about the CUP process. I can't remember if it was specifically about food trucks or just in general, but they were saying that they had some concerns as far as being business friendly and addressing the CUP process, which probably a lot of you know that's, if you want to do something like, for example, have a food truck court in town, you have to go through a very lengthy process. So they're hoping that and other things can be addressed with the process and make it a little easier. They talked about how much they've raised a significant amount of money for their community heart and soul project. And I guess they're going to have an event on the 15th of October. They mentioned that they're working on a Labor Day festival. And so there's going to be more to come on that. They talked about getting the art community more involved in maybe some of the events that go on down, a little bit more organized. They talked about, I think they said rogue food trucks in town. So I don't know, something council maybe you need to address, or if law enforcement's addressing it. I think it was primarily surrounding ice cream trucks that are kind of going around and just parking here, there, and everywhere for significant amounts of time. So hopefully we'll find out a little bit more about that later. And let's see. Oh, and somebody mentioned something about the security surrounding our events and the cost of the town, and maybe trying to address that in the future. That's I guess a concern they had. That's all I got. Thank you.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. Dr. Mitchell is not here today. Everybody hear me okay? Okay, good. Thank you. Unfortunately, he's not going to make the meeting today, so I have many things to share with you, not a whole lot, but both, according to Dr. Mitchell, both schools had great openings, one of the best that he's ever had. Our pre-K has 25 children in it, and that's the top amount that can be in the pre-K program. Right now, we have 380 children, K through 7, 225 children are young adults, 8 to 12, 8 through 12. The state takes their first count on September 30th. So that's the first monies time that comes into the school system, if that makes sense. But that's the first time they take the population of the school. For those of you that don't know, approximately $10,000 per child comes from the state, so that's your state taxes, that's hard work. And at this time, there are certain grades that out of town children cannot get into because they're already to capacity. They had their capital improvement money, and with that, new heat pumps went on to the high school, and there are pre-bid bids, proposals have gone out to furnish the other ones. The board is also working on their 5-year strategic plan. These are available if anybody wants to take a look at it. If you just want to take a look at it, I have a copy, so you can certainly do that. And that's all I have.
All right, thank you. I'm going to take a moment to appreciate a lot of people in the community reached out to me through the loss in our family. And so I just thank you for anybody who has done that, and also for support to the Mothershead family for the loss of my Mothershead in the fire here in town. Both were pretty sudden and very tragic. I would really like to also appreciate Parks and Rec for running their little baseball camp that they did. I don't know where Sally is now. There she is. Which was a program through our internship. And I want to appreciate there are 3 interns here, and I see Frog Harris' grandson is one, and Jaden McGinnis is one, and then Bobby's son was the other one, and all 3 just did a fantastic job, and they just really deserve kudos for their very hard work. And maybe they got appreciated at the last meeting, but I wasn't there, so I just wanted to give a shout out to them. And also to remind you, as Mr. Allison said, to come out to the 43rd annual Rod Run. It's a lot of fun. The town hill gets packed with cars. Tyler Nichols is worth it. Come out and see him play. He's so much fun, and you will not be disappointed. And it's at the same time, I think, as Waterfest. So much to do this coming weekend. I have friends coming in from out of town, just from Richmond for that. So I'm very excited to share that with people outside of our community as well. Coming up tomorrow, I will be attending the strategic planning meeting at NSWC Dahlgren Naval Base on behalf of the town. And on Monday, we have our ComRel meeting in Indian Head, which is the community organization meeting between both Indian Head Base and Dahlgren Base and all of the communities surrounding both of those bases. And that's all the announcements I have. Next is the town manager update.
Good evening, Madam Mayor, council members. My manager's meeting report is going to be very brief this evening. So from finance, we have the water and sewer bills are due October 1st, and the next bill will be mailed the first week in September. From infrastructure and public works, the central drainage area project that continues to go really well. They are ahead of schedule as of right now, and we continue to update the website weekly. The delivery of the toters will begin on Monday, August 21st. All toters will be delivered by October 1st, and the quarterly fee period is from October 1st, 2023 to December 1st, 2023. From Parks and Recs and events, in addition to all of the wonderful events that council members have pointed out, the Rob Run event on Town Hill, August 9th, 19th and 20th. We also have a t-shirt tote night on August 28th, and that's gonna be held at the Colonial Beach Community Center, and that's gonna be from 6 to 8 p.m. And on Monday, the 21st, I'm also attending the Comrail meeting at the town of Indian Head. And that is it for my manager's report.
Sure, go ahead. Mr. Wood has a question.
I just wanted to touch on something briefly that Councilman Williams had spoken about in regard to the rogue ice cream trucks. You and I had had a discussion about that, and I think you provided the police with a list of approved vendors. So now we should be able to ticket those vendors who are not approved, correct?
Well, what happens with that is without